Now adjourned. The honourable member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Letters from Canada's Jewish, Sikh and Muslim communities, leaders, got together to write this government a letter calling on them to renew the mandate of the Office of Religious Freedom. The letter reads, "Dear Minister, as Canadians from different faith and cultural communities, we are writing to express our support for the valuable work undertaken by Global Affairs Canada's Office of Religious Freedom. Today, hundreds of millions of people around the world are the target of threats, discrimination, state persecution, or violence every day, simply on the basis of their religion. While we acknowledge that diverse communities are subject to persecution as a result of multiple factors, the suffering of religious minorities in numerous countries is particularly acute and often qualitatively different from other forms of discrimination. For example, in the context of the current Syrian refugee crisis, it cannot be overlooked that many refugees seeking resettlement in the West are religious minorities targeted by ISIS on the basis of their faith. This is an issue that touches the conscience of all Canadians, regardless of any particular religious affiliation, many of whom arrived in Canada as refugees, fleeing religious-based persecution overseas, whether recently or in previous generations. The Office of Religious Freedom, under the capable stewardship of Ambassador Bennett, has proven an effective advocate in highlighting the issue of religious persecution, partnering with diaspora communities in Canada, and raising our country's profile as a world leader in human rights promotion on the international stage. Perhaps most importantly, we are grateful that the office is engaged in a series of on-the-ground programs and initiatives to alleviate religious persecution in various countries, towards which the office's modest budget of $5 million is allocated. While these projects do not always make headlines, we believe they laudably reflect a practical and effective role Canada can play in mitigating the plight of persecuted religious minorities around the world. Madam Speaker, those are the words of Canada's Jewish, Sikh and Muslim leaders speaking together. Now, in response to this letter, the minister told the House that they value religious freedom, but that they don't want it to be isolated. Comments like this suggest that, unfortunately, the minister isn't even aware of what this office does. This office is not a silo of activity away from the department. It is an integral part of the department, and it provides training and expertise to the rest of the public service. In addition to funding direct programs, it builds the capacity of the public service to respond effectively to faith-based discrimination. All Canadians support and benefit from religious freedom. The Office of Religious Freedom's External Advisory Committee even includes representation from the atheist community. And in general, this government's claim to be committed to religious freedom is highly suspect. There's absolutely no mention of religious freedom in the minister's mandate letter. If this move to do away with this office was really about supporting religious freedom in a different way, then why no mention in the mandate letter? So will this government finally take this opportunity to answer the original question more seriously? Will the government listen to the pleas of Jewish, Sikh and Muslim communities speaking together with one voice? Will they renew the mandate of the Office of Religious Freedom? And if they are intent on killing this office, will they at least give us their reasons why?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. Thank you very much for the question. I would actually like to focus on an aspect of the good work that the Office of Religious Freedom did do, because the honourable member is making a very good point, and I think it's worth reviewing for the sake of the exact kind of appeal that's been made, and also to indicate we're listening and we do wish to go further. On January 31st, Boko Haram attacked Dalori, a village on the outskirts of Maiduguri in northeastern Nigeria, and massacred 86 children, women and men. This group is responsible for many despicable acts in Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad and Niger. The Minister of Foreign Affairs condemned these attacks in Nigeria in a press release in which he offered his sincere condolences to the families and friends of those killed and wished a strong recovery to the many injured. Madam Speaker, Canada is deeply concerned by these continuing atrocities. Boko Haram is responsible for more than 6,600 deaths in a single year, making it the deadliest insurgent group in the world outside of Iraq and Syria, and this must stop. Nigeria and its neighbours around Lake Chad are determined to eradicate Boko Haram. Canada and the international community are supporting the Lake Chad Basin allies in their fight. We are actively engaged with our international partners as the co-chair of the Sahel Working Group of the Global Counterterrorism Forum. Since 2010, Canada has committed over $37 million towards assisting vulnerable countries around the world to fight terrorism through the Counterterrorism Capacity Building Program. In the Lake Chad Basin, the Counterterrorism Capacity Building Program has provided training to Nigerian law enforcement personnel on analysis, investigation, and interview techniques. Nigeria also received training through Canadian support to Interpol, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, and the Institute for Security Studies Africa. Canada participates annually in a military exercise called Flintock that develops capacity and collaboration among African forces. Millions of people living in the Lake Chad Basin are affected by Boko Haram's terror. In response to this, Canada provided over $11 million in humanitarian assistance in 2015 to help those who have been forced to flee their homes. Madam Speaker, in its efforts to combat Boko Haram's history of intercommunal violence in the region, Canada, through the Office of Religious Freedom, supported a 2-year project to promote interfaith dialogue and conflict mediation in Plateau State, Nigeria. We are well aware of the good work it has done. The project successfully developed a community-based mechanism to help diffuse tensions between different religious and ethnic groups and has been used by the Nigerian government on various occasions, including in response to attacks and bombings in Jos and in the lead-up to Nigeria's elections in March 2015. While this phase of the project concluded in January 2015, our government is pleased that Canada has been able to continue to support this model for intercommunal dialogue in neighbouring conflict-affected regions in Nigeria through Canada's Global Peace and Security Fund. I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. Human rights are universal, interdependent, and indivisible. The promotion and protection of human rights, including freedom of religion and belief, is an integral part of Canada's history and constructive leadership in the world. The government is currently examining its options on how best to build on the good work that has been done so far and enhance efforts to champion peaceful pluralism, respect for diversity, and human rights. Madam Speaker, terrorism today is a global, long-term challenge requiring a consistent, comprehensive, coordinated international response, and that is what Canada is actively doing together with our allies and partners around the world. And I thank you for the question.
The honourable member from Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And my question in this case was not about Boko Haram, but I do appreciate the member recognizing the very good work that was done by our government, and it will hopefully continue under this new government through the Office of Religious Freedom. Let's be clear that rights are connected and indivisible, but it is precisely because of that that we need to have this Centre of Excellence within the Department of Global Affairs that is building the capacity of the department to understand these situations of religious tension and to directly address it through these effective programs. What the Sikh, Jewish, and Muslim community leaders have told us, have told the government, is that it's not enough to say we're lumping all these rights together, but that you need to have an office that understands the specific issues and can ensure that action is taken. So I want to ask the Parliamentary Secretary, will she strongly advocate for the continuation of this office and the very good work that it's doing?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much to the honourable member across the way. We are reviewing the Office of Religious Freedom as we support efforts to promote interfaith dialogue and conflict mediation. Such efforts can help build tolerance, security, and stability. The promotion and protection of human rights is an integral part of Canada's constructive leadership in the world. The government is currently examining options about how to enhance efforts to champion peaceful pluralism, respect for diversity, and human rights, above all. Terrorism today is a global long-term challenge and requires a consistent, comprehensive, and coordinated response. And that is what Canada, together with our allies and partners around the world, is actively and proudly doing.